first item today is some of you I know are following the Amos Miller case, the Amish farmer in Pennsylvania who had a private membership association, PMA. We've discussed those here on the program in the past as a circumventive approach to be able to transact food commerce direct between producer and consumer. And he's been in almost a decade-long running battle now with the food, I call it the food police, that have tried to close him down. And in all deference to the situation, let me just say that as much as we love Amos, one of the reasons that he got into the deep ditch that he got regulatorily was because he was not diligent about making sure that all of his patrons signed the private membership association agreement. He started it. It was rocking along okay, and you just kind of get cavalier, and lazy about the technicalities. And so when he was raided, only about half of his patrons were members of the PMA, and so this really ran him into a deep ditch. So for those of you who want to, push the envelope on some of these things, and I'm a fan of the PMA. I'm a fan of anything that is circumventive to the regulatory climate. If you're going to do it, you've got to be consistent. You've got to be, it's got to be real, and it can't be hypocritical. It can't be inconsistent. It's got to be, it's got to be the real deal. Well, he has just, I'm going to say, quasi won another legal battle in which in the negotiations between the Pennsylvania Department of Ag, who really brought these charges, and the USDA. It's interesting that the current ruling is that he is free to sell out of the state of Pennsylvania, but not within the state of Pennsylvania. It's for those of you who are like me and just sit back and shake your head at the legal wranglings of our systems that seem to not make any sense. This is a perfect example of one that is lawyerese and not really not really dealing with the issue. And so the USDA has decided since the original charges and push were brought by Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, known as PDA. Since that's where everything originated, the USDA has decided to just let that run its course. So he's not off, he's not free. PDA, the kind of the trade-off here was the USDA will step away from pursuit, if you will, and turn it over and let PDA run their course. So it's not over by long shot, but it does mean that right now he's completely unfettered in being able to do his private membership association sales outside the state of Pennsylvania, but he can't do it inside the state of Pennsylvania. And that's where things are right now. It's a strange, it's a strange cat at this point, but in these kinds of negotiations and wranglings, strange cats get birthed every day.
Yeah. 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 And so I read it too. And I also was like, oh, that's really interesting. Like I've never seen a ruling come down like that. But then do you think that part of this is the federal government actually constitutionally restricting itself, that it knows that it has the authority to regulate interstate commerce? So like his sale of his milk outside of the state, but it doesn't actually have the constitutional power to regulate within the state. I mean, maybe I'm just being a little too optimistic here, but do you think maybe that's somewhere where they found justification for this? Like I know in the ruling, it was said that that the argument was alleging irrevocable harm because it would be the loss, because their farm would basically go under
Yeah.
if they couldn't sell their products. And so they were saying, oh, this was a loss of generations of family history, sweat equity, and memories, and the monetary damages are no substitute. So they're allowing it to sell with outside. But do you think that's maybe that kind of that
Well,
legal?
yeah, it's interesting when you talk with the regulatory bureaucracy, if you will. There's a whole kind of whatever personality and mystique, around that whole uh, institution, and it could be exactly like you say. Chances are, it's they're just tired of it for now. They're just tired of it for now, and they just and Pennsylvania is willing to pursue and be the bad guy, if you will. And so as long as Pennsylvania is willing to be the bad guy and pursue, USDA says, we got bigger fish to fry. We got other things going on. Let's just sit back and let PDA be the heavy on this.
Yeah.
A very diplomatic and political issue for them. It's I can't imagine the amount of bad press and whatever backlash that the agencies have gotten, because generally everybody is pulling for Amos. They just feel like he's a martyr. He's a farm martyr in this Liberty Food space, and so he's being rallied around by a lot of interests, in the food freedom movement and the health, that frankly the health movement. Um, so yeah, I can't begin to explain what the thinking is behind these agencies.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe they're
not.
afraid with the new
Well,
regime coming in.
that could be as well. That they just see kind of the end of the thing. So you know what? Let's not have any more negative equity here, emotional equity. Let's just bow out now, and we'll see. They have to know that a lot of people are watching this case. They know that, and so I think it's more, hey, let's just take a break from this. Let's let Pennsylvania be the bad guy for a while, and we'll go on with other things. That's my sense. I may be wrong, but that's my sense, kind of knowing some of these agencies and how they work.
Yeah.
But bless him. He is able to sell outside the state, so he's going to be able to continue to function, and keep that network of patrons going and serviced, and we'll see. You know, um, he's not a tiny player. I mean, he has like 3 to 4 thousand out of state customers. So yeah, this isn't 50 people. This isn't
Yeah.
100 households. He's got and they are pit bulls. I mean, they are uh, totally loyal, and so so we'll see. And he's not a gifted negotiator. He's just a simple, conviction oriented person. I mean, my favorite statement from him is, they keep telling you got to protect the public. You got to protect the public. You got to protect the public. Well, what about protecting the private?
Yeah.
And that's just such a powerful statement. It's okay. He says, you guys, you can go protect the public. That's fine. You go protect the public. I'm protecting the private. And so he's got wonderful little sound bites that he has been able to develop over the years, and more power to him. We're all pulling for him, and hope that he can prevail.
Yeah. And I think this is such a great reminder to all of us. Like, even if, like you're not one of his patrons, right? It's such a great reminder that we need to stand up for our right to choose, to have the choice of the foods we want to put in our bodies. And this reminds me of, we have a listener who sent in a comment for us. This is from Sarah Chisholm, I believe, out of Texas. And she was talking about how she saw a recent episode about raw milk and wanted to share a testimonial about one of her daughters. She said when her daughter was around 4, she actually started having stomach pain, horrible gas, and diarrhea. They were at the time using a conventional pediatrician, And get this, Joel, this pediatrician repeatedly told them that kids between the age of 4 and 7 have the most, quote, tummy issues. So, like, that's just the norm. It's just okay. That happens. That will go away. Right. Well, it did not go away. And as the years passed, the issues only got worse, increasing in frequency. So they actually, the end of the story is they got her on raw milk, and it's had a huge impact. She's not having problems anymore. I mean, it's incredible. So that milk was used as actual medicine for this child that healed her. And so that's why it's so important that we stand up, even if you don't drink milk, it's somebody else's medicine. So it is important that we stand up, for our right to choose and to have the choice, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we are adamantly defenders of the right to choose. Here's a soundbite that I've developed here just lately, and that is, in our country, we have the right to choose. We have the right to choose in the bedroom, the right to choose in the bathroom, the right to choose in the womb, but we don't have the right to choose in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And we are committed to defending that right of you and I to choose what goes through our mouth and fuels our microbiome, frankly. I mean, if that isn't one of the most intimate and important sovereign rights of human agency, I don't know what is. And so we're going to defend that. So that's Amos. Friends, want to dive deeper into our thought-provoking conversations? Become part of the Beyond Labels family today by joining below. For any gift amount, you'll get access to the full, uncut episodes.
Every contribution, whether big or small, keeps this podcast going.
So join us and expand your Beyond Labels experience. Thank you.